Good Tuesday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside our weather window, and I'll tell you what, the old saying, looks can be deceiving. Boy, that fit our weather picture today. This is a shot from this afternoon, about mid-afternoon in the Wenatchee Valley, looking down from our Wenatchee Heights Sky-Fi Tower camera. And thank you to Local-Tel for providing this beautiful shot. It looks like it should be about 60 degrees, doesn't it? Temperatures barely made it to 20 degrees today. In fact, we were in the mid-teens throughout most of the day, throughout the Wenatchee Valley and throughout north central Washington. And another break in our weather tomorrow, but we have more snow to talk about, and that'll be late afternoon tomorrow through about 4 o'clock on Thursday. These are the snow totals that we do expect out of this system as it moves in. Keep in mind the orange and yellow areas are where we'll see the most snow, and that'll be up mainly in the Okanagan country around Winthrop and Twisp. Could see about 4 to 6 inches, 2 to 3 inches for you folks in Chelan, and about an inch or two in the Wenatchee area. We will talk much more about that storm system and then another one moving our way just in time for the weekend. We'll do that coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. The 70-year-old Kashmir woman who allegedly admitted to killing her 96-year-old mother in cold blood will remain jailed on $1 million bond. The Wenatchee Valley College faculty announces a vote of no confidence in college president Jim Richardson. And we'll tell you about a pretty significant road closure coming up in Douglas County. But first, we begin tonight. A two-car accident this morning on Highway 28 sent both drivers to the hospital with injuries. Washington State Patrol says 33-year-old Joshua Vines of East Wenatchee was traveling east on Highway 28 near Trinidad around 6:50 this morning when he crossed the center line and struck a westbound car driven by 40-year-old Wende Navarez Macias of Ephrata. State Patrol says Vines was trying to avoid hitting a deceased deer in the roadway when he crossed the center line and hit Navarez Macias' vehicle. Both vehicles came to rest on the westbound shoulder of the highway. Both drivers were injured and transported to Central Washington Hospital. Navarez Macias is in satisfactory condition while Vines was transferred to another hospital. Well, the 70-year-old Kashmir woman who allegedly admitted to killing her 96-year-old mother in cold blood will remain jailed on $1 million bond. NCWLIFE's Jefferson Robbins has the story.
Chelan County Superior Court Judge Travis Brandt said Monday there's probable cause to hold Anita Burgess Jones in jail for the death of her elderly mother, Catherine Burgess Whitseye. Jones called police early Saturday and told them she'd killed her mother in their shared home in Kashmir. Chelan County Sheriff's deputies say Jones, who's 70 years old, admitted attacking her mother at about 2 a.m. as she left the bathroom, bludgeoning her with a statuette, strangling her, and stabbing her 3 times with a steak knife. Asked why she'd killed her 96-year-old mother, Jones allegedly said, "I guess I must have hated her." Deputies said Jones also admitted to painkiller addiction and said she heard voices in her head. Jones is the listed owner of the house in the 400 block of Pioneer Avenue where the killing occurred. State records show both women used the address on their voter registration. Jones's relatives told Brandt they tried twice in the last week to get her involuntarily committed. Prosecutors are likely to charge Jones with first-degree murder. It's the first case of murder in Chelan County since 2017. Jefferson Robbins, NCWLIFE.
The faculty at Wenatchee Valley College has voted no confidence in college president Jim Richardson and called for him to immediately be replaced. Richardson said today that he takes the concerns of the faculty seriously and is disheartened by their vote. NCWLIFE's Cal Fitzsimmons has more on this developing story.
After a $1 million budget shortfall late last year that led to layoffs and furloughs, the faculty at Wenatchee Valley College has called for the immediate removal of college president Jim Richardson, accusing him of fiscal mismanagement. A no-confidence vote was approved overwhelmingly by faculty members, according to a press release from the Wenatchee Valley College Association for Higher Education, the union that represents faculty. On December 5th, the college announced it was laying off 21 non-faculty employees and imposing mandatory furlough days. Falling enrollment and the resulting loss of state funding was cited as the reason for the fiscal crisis, with more budget challenges anticipated. The union claims those factors only compounded Richardson's fiscal mismanagement. In December, Richardson appeared on In Focus with NCWLIFE's Steve Hare and said he is prepared to lead WVC through its financial challenges, as he has in the past.
Why should we feel confident that you, as a steward of public funds, can do this?
Well, I think if you look back in 2008 and 2009, the school went through not the same thing. It was actually different. It was when the recession hit and the state actually cut its budgets to us by, millions of dollars. And we, made it through there. We did very similar thing. We actually had 34 layoffs of full-time people in 2009, I believe it was. And, we made it through. We started rebuilding. And we've served a lot of students since then. We've added 4-year programs since then. We've done a lot for the communities that we serve, and I think as we go forward, you'll see students, hopefully, more students coming, obviously would be a good thing, but we're still going to serve our communities.
The union said it will be at Wednesday's Board of Trustees meeting to call for Richardson's ouster. That meeting begins at 3 p.m. on the 3rd floor of Wenatchee Hall. Richardson has been president of the college since 2005. This is Cal Fitzsimmons reporting for NCWLIFE.
Coming up next, snow and ice-covered roadways caused havoc on Interstate 90 this morning, with westbound lanes near Ellensburg closed after at least 2 wrecks about 6 o'clock this morning. We have dramatic video of a downed power line this morning on Sunset Highway, and the emergence of vapor products, also called e-cigarettes, and increases in access and use of cannabis products among youth has raised serious concerns both nationally and here locally. We'll tell you what's being done. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Bring the whole family up to Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house in historic downtown Chelan. Applewood smoked brisket, street-style tacos, and our award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces. Our meals pair perfectly with our exciting lineup of craft ales, made right here in Chelan. We've got room for big groups, or give us a call for catering. So grab the kids and check out the fun at Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house located in the heart of Chelan.
Arctic Refrigeration and Heating, serving North Central Washington, is proud to offer the finest heating and cooling air quality products along with prompt and professional customer service since 1984. Regardless of the temperature outside, Arctic is here for you. Arctic offers a variety of services: residential and commercial heating, air conditioning, commercial refrigeration, as well as planned fall and spring maintenance for the overall well-being of your system. Call Arctic Refrigeration and Heating for your heating and cooling needs.
It's a marvelous markdown at Sangster Buick GMC.
Hi, Corey Sangster, and we're ending the year with a bang. Take advantage of below market pricing on our entire used vehicle inventory. We've stocked up on a great selection of all and four-wheel drives just in time for winter. Virtually every make and model, all price point, and $49 down delivers. Pick a vehicle, pick a payment, and drive away with $49 down. Before you buy, compare price, service, and selection.
December is a marvelous markdown at Sangster Buick GMC or sangstermotors.com.
Welcome back. In another news, snow and ice-covered roadways caused havoc on Interstate 90 this morning, with westbound lanes near Ellensburg closed after at least 2 wrecks about 6 a.m. In addition, a semi and 2 cars were involved in a collision that was about 8 a.m. near Vantage on I-90 that caused a westbound lane. Even making it past the accidents didn't ease the white-knuckle driving experience on Snoqualmie Pass, where snow and poor visibility meant chains were required on all vehicles except all-wheel drive. Meanwhile, Stevens Pass remains closed as Washington State Department of Transportation crews continues to deal with fallen trees. They're dangerously bending trees and downed power lines. The pass has been closed since Monday morning. Cold weather was believed to be the cause after power was knocked out to about 900 Douglas County PUD customers in East Wenatchee this morning. The PUD says a power line came apart at a connection point, and that line fell, taking another line with it at Sunset Highway and 23rd Street. The outage started about 4:30 a.m. and power was restored to all customers by 9:20. Well, the emergence of vapor products, also called electronic or e-cigarettes, and increases in access and use of cannabis products among youth has raised serious concern, both nationally and here locally. In response to this growing issue, Wenatchee and Eastmont school districts have come together to host a youth vaping and drug prevention night for the public. It's coming up on Thursday, February 6th from 6:30 to 8 p.m. It'll be held at Eastmont High School at 955 Northeast 3rd Street in East Wenatchee. Community experts, healthcare providers, and law enforcement officials will share information on the risks, identification, and prevention of drug use among youth in our valley. Informational booths from community and state organizations will be open from 6:30 to 7 p.m. The panel presentation begins at 7 p.m. at the Eastmont High School auditorium and will feature speakers from the Washington State Liquor and Cannabis Board, Confluence Health, and the Washington State Patrol. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
Family roles change with time. You may find yourself being an unpaid caregiver to a loved one. Caregiving can be rewarding, but also stressful. Taking care of yourself is vital. Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington has low or no cost services for unpaid caregivers, such as in-home support, care supplies, and counseling. Connect in your local area by calling Aging and Adult Care at 800-572-4459 and mention you're interested in caregiver support.
When it comes to our community, you can count on Town Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram to be invested. From supporting community college scholarships through a concert series or participating in a local high school homecoming event, Town Chrysler has always put the community first. Buying local supports the jobs and programs you care about most. When it comes time to buy your next new or used car, SUV, or truck, remember, there's no reason to leave town.
Reinventing FaceTime here at Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa, a new family-owned and operated business located in the heart of downtown Wenatchee. Owner Andrew Vickery brings forth years of experience to help you transition your backyard into a place where memories are made, family time is looked forward to, and friends are always welcome. Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa offers many different styles and sizes of artesian spa. Let us help you add hydrotherapy to your already healthy lifestyle.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Commissioners say one of Douglas County's oldest roads may have to be permanently closed due to hazardous slope conditions. DeZellum Hill Road was built in the 1880s along a steep hillside in the Bridgeport area. Maintaining the road as a secondary access for about a dozen residents has been a long-time struggle, according to Commissioner Mark Straub. Straub, along with Commissioners Dan Sutton and Kyle Steinberg, have scheduled a public forum for tomorrow evening in Bridgeport to discuss the matter. In tonight's feature story, Straub tells NCWLIFE News that it's possibly reached the point of no return.
This is an issue that didn't happen overnight. It's been a road, a portion of the road that's been unstable for decades, probably almost 100 years in fact. And so it's reached a point where we last year had spent about just under $300,000 to try to stabilize the road and get a few more years out of it. And actually just here in the last several weeks, the road is actually failing. And we have video and pictures that demonstrate this, where a large portion of the road is sloughing off. And so for us, the second to the last thing that we want to do is close a road, especially knowing that it will add some inconvenience. It's not the primary or the only way in and out for those 9 or 10 families up there, but it does add about 15 to 20 minutes to the route. But I say it's the second to the last thing we want to do. The first thing that we don't want to ever have to do is wake up and explain why somebody lost their life or was injured because we didn't take appropriate actions.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. And before we do that, as always, let's take a look outside our weather window and see how conditions look this afternoon. And it really wasn't bad looking out there today. We did see plenty of sunshine. And actually, if you were in the sun, it was still chilly, but not as bad as when you get in those shaded areas. And then you could really tell that our temperatures were very chilly today. But a beautiful shot looking down from our Wenatchee Heights Sky-Fi Tower camera at Wenatchee and East Wenatchee. And today's temperatures, yeah, it was cold out there. Unofficially, high temperature in the Wenatchee area today. Once again, only in the upper teens to around 20 degrees for Wenatchee. We did see, I believe, 20 degrees for our unofficial high in the Wenatchee area. It still wasn't too bad, but normal is about 34 degrees this time of year. So we were about 14 degrees below where we should be for this time of year. But as I mentioned, looks can be deceiving out there because it looked pretty darn nice. We haven't picked up any new precipitation, so we're still at 0.05 inches for the year as far as precip goes. 57 degrees, our record high. That was set back in 2011. Our record low, 1 degree in 1971. Sunrise this morning, 7:44, and the sun set this afternoon at 4:36. Let's take a look at how our Wednesday hump day will shape up for us, and it's going to be a lot like today, folks. Temperature-wise, temperatures still mainly in the 20s all around our viewing area. Upper 20s for Moses Lake, mid-20s in Quincy and Ephrata. Will still be chilly here in Wenatchee and surrounding area in the upper teens to around 20 and 19. The high temperature for you folks in Omak tomorrow. Let's take a look at that surface loop now. Begin with tonight, mostly cloudy skies. Here's our area of low pressure bringing that storm our way, but here's the cold too, dipping all the way down into Arizona and New Mexico, most of northern Montana. I grew up about right there. 30 degrees below zero, and that's not uncommon for January in northern Montana. Luckily for us, we're cold, but not that cold. Here's our storm system that's moving in Wednesday. A 60% chance of snow. I think 1 to 3 inches is a possibility in the Wenatchee area. We'll see lingering snow showers then from that system tomorrow into Thursday. We'll keep a 30% chance for snow, but warmer. Remember, green indicates 40 and 50 degree temperatures. Still some 30s though in the mountains to our west, but we are seeing some warmer temperatures as we get late in the week. Friday, mostly cloudy, a 50% chance of late night snow. Here's our next storm system moving down from the Gulf of Alaska, and it will swing through just in time for the weekend. That'll bring us a 70% chance for snow. It's going to be a snowy day on Saturday. I think another 1 to 3 inches is possible, but we will see warmer temperatures. So will it stay on the ground, and could it be mixed with rain? We'll have to wait and see. Sunday, a little bit better weather then, partly cloudy skies. It will be warmer as a nice ridge of high pressure. Here's that high pressure right here begins to build, and there you go, 40s and 50s throughout most of eastern and southeastern Washington. It will begin to warm up. Look at that by Monday. Almost all of us in the 40s. That's right, and even some 50s as we get into the first part of next week. Just a few scattered 30s still in the northern mountains of Washington. Let's take a look now at your Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling 7-day forecast. It's going to remain cold, 10 degrees our overnight low tonight, so bundle up as you head out the door once again tomorrow. A 60% chance of snow then for Wednesday. 21 our high temperature. 30, you can see the slow warm up as we get into Thursday and Friday. 30 to 3 degrees for Friday. A good chance for snow though Friday night, and that probably will go up to about a 50% chance. 70% chance for snow on Saturday. For Sunday, partly cloudy and 38 and almost 40 degrees as we get into next Monday. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
This is Caitlin Hedershe, the producer of the NCWLIFE magazine. Each week, I'm bringing you a look behind the scenes of the faces, places, and events that make North Central Washington the place we call home. Tune in every weekday for an in-depth look at a new topic each week. From local artists in their studios to businesses breaking barriers that might surprise you and everything in between. Join me on the NCWLIFE magazine right here on the NCWLIFE channel.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Tuesday to you. Joe Burrow threw 5 touchdown passes and ran for another to lead LSU to the College Football National Championship over Clemson last night. 42-25 the final. The 39th and final bowl game of the season came down to a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback playing better than the man who finished as the runner-up. Clemson's Trevor Lawrence did not have a good game, completing just 18 passes for 234 yards and no touchdowns. LSU's Lamar Chase caught 9 passes for 221 yards and 2 touchdowns, while Justin Jefferson had 9 receptions for 106 yards. Tigers finished a perfect 15-0 on the season and are the national champs. Well, other college football news, reporter Bruce Feldman broke the news that Washington State has hired Hawaii coach Nick Rolovich to be its new head coach. Rolovich comes to Pullman after coaching the Rainbow Warriors for 4 seasons, compiling a 28-27 record, including a 10-win season last year and a Hawaii Bowl win over BYU. Rolovich's deal is reportedly for 5 years and worth over about $3 million per year. Well, the Seahawks wrapped up the season officially yesterday with a locker room cleanout day at the team's facility in Renton. Coach Pete Carroll says this was a special team and it feels like they missed out on opportunities that they'll begin to work towards in the offseason.
I really regret that this thing's over. I love this team, and I love the way they played, and I love what they stood for, and the character that they demonstrated over and over again. All of the elements of great character, you know, and we're there. And they're passionate. They persevered. They're true to who they were. Resilient. I mean, all the really great attributes, and they just would not give it up. And we start off this off season today really with the thought of going back to work individually as they prepare for April and 19th or 20th, whatever it is, and we come back with a new resolve and stepping forward, knowing where we've come from and knowing what we have, and building on the nucleus of this group that we put together here.
Seahawks lost 3 of its 4 running backs down the stretch, which Carroll says they need all those guys back next season.
So we'll be on the mend, but it's still a pretty good position group for us, and Homer, you know, really helped us out by the play time he got. And it was a classic example. What does the guy have to do? He needs to play, you know, and Homer did, and he showed us what he can do, and so I think it should be a strong group. Really count on Chris to come roaring back.
Do you have any sense that Marshawn wants to continue to play?
He's thinking. He's going to go home and think about it and all that. That was we were all very fortunate to have a chance to see Marshawn come back and play again, and score 4 touchdowns in the last 3 weeks. You know, it was pretty cool. And all the kind of just being Marshawn down inside the 5-yard line, he was nails. I don't know what he's going to do. I don't think he knows yet.
Would you entertain an arrangement where it would be partial season, or he wouldn't go through?
I don't know. We're open to whatever. You know, we'll look at everything. I can't tell you right now.
Might he be the only guy in the universe you'd be willing to flex like that for?
I think that's a good way to phrase that. Marshawn would be the only guy in the universe that would get that kind of consideration.
Carroll says if they learn one thing this year is that they need to tweak the things defensively to get more pressure on the quarterback and shore up the outside game.
We didn't get enough production consistently. At times we were as good as anybody, but not with the consistency that we need. And it's so much better to play football when you're rushing 4 guys and you're having, you know, and you're kicking butt. Everything works when you do that. But so we have to just keep developing. I think we need continuity. We need to. You know, not having Jay Reed early in the year was a mess for us. You know, we missed him for 6 weeks, and then he had to transition back in. So there's just things we can smooth out, but we need to get some of these guys back too. For the most part, we had problems on the edge. You know, we had containment issues, and we found that the offense has really put the ball on the perimeter against us a lot, and So that does challenge us in some ways, and you'll see some things be adjusted in the course of the offseason for that. Just the style of offense that we were up against was a little bit different than it's been.
Several questions loom in the offseason for Seattle, particularly what will happen with their unrestricted free agents. Now, they include Jadeveon Clowney, Ziggy Ansah, Michael Kendricks, George Fant, and Quentin Jefferson. Well, coming up on the prep schedule for today, Wenatchee and Eastmont were hosting girls bowling matches at Eastmont Lanes earlier this afternoon. Panthers were entertaining Ellensburg, while the Wildcats hosted Sela. We'll have results tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Girls basketball tonight, Ephrata travels to Toppenish, while Quincy's at East Valley of Yakima at 5:45. At the same time, Chelan hosts Cascade, while Wilson Creek visits Entiat. Manson and Lake Roosevelt tip it off at 6, as will Waterville, Mansfield, and Brewster in a battle for first place. On the boys' side tonight, Toppenish hosts Ephrata at 7:15. Also a 7:15 start for Quincy at East Valley and Cle at Cashmere. Cascade travels to Chelan. Lake Roosevelt hosts Manson. Waterville, Mansfield plays at Brewster, and Wilson Creek is at Entiat. All those games start at 7:30. On the mats tonight, Ephrata wrestles a double duel against Ellensburg and East Valley. That one's underway. Cascade hosting Lake Roosevelt. Also Wenatchee on the road to West Valley. Moses Lake is under the lights tonight at home against Eisenhower at 7:30. Here's our broadcast schedule for this week on the NCW Life channel. Begins tonight with a replay of boys basketball from last January. Took a couple of overtimes to finish it up between Davis and Eastmont boys. That's at 7 o'clock tonight. Then on Thursday, double feature for you. Hockey night at 7, Wild Entertain Trail. Then at 9, we'll bring you Thursday's wrestling match between Moses Lake and Wenatchee from Wenatchee High School. We'll be at Eastmont High Friday night as the Wildcats host Sunnyside. We'll have the girls at 6:30, followed by the boys at 8. Grant Olson courtside with your play-by-play. Then on Saturday, I'll be at Wenatchee High School where the Panthers entertain Eisenhower. The girls at 5:30. The boys follow at 7:30 here on your home for local sports, the NCW Life channel. That's sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom. Grant, back to you.
Thank you very much, Eric. And as we say goodbye tonight, we bring you an unbelievable bear fight from British Columbia. Imagine the surprise for Carrie McGillivray while traveling down the Stewart Highway near Stewart, British Columbia, to stumble upon two grizzly bears having a disagreement. She caught this amazing footage on her cell phone last September. Man, take a look. Wow. Now let's check in with Dan Kuntz for a look at what's coming up tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dan?
Thanks, Grant. We appreciate it. My guests tomorrow on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, Pete Van Well and Jill Leonard from the Wenatchee Rotary. Their annual auction is coming up on Saturday, January 25th. They're going to talk all about that and all the good stuff that Wenatchee Rotary is a part of. So Pete and Jill will be my guests tomorrow. Plus, we'll have your latest weather forecast. As Grant mentioned, could get a little bit of snow. A couple of inches anyway. Later on Wednesday afternoon into Wednesday night, we'll have an updated weather forecast, find out what's going on with the mountain passes, sports, and everything else you're used to. Start your day off live and local right here at 7 a.m. tomorrow for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. With yours truly, I'm Dan Kuntz. Grant, back to you.
Thank you, Dan. And remember, don't be a grizzly bear tomorrow morning. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us, and have a great night.
Home should never be a chore. Let Merry Maids of Wenatchee customize all your cleaning needs. Weekly, bi-weekly, special occasion. Do you have a vacation home that needs cleaning? We clean them too. Locally owned and operated, let Merry Maids do the cleaning while you focus on your family and friends. Merry Maids has special offers to fit your budget. Request your free cleaning estimate today. 509-663-1710.
I'm Carol Andre with Wenatchee Parks and Recreation, and you're watching the NCW Life channel.